Today I'm making over a $3 thrifted jewelry box. I first started out by removing the sticker, which ended up being a pain. I used a razor blade, held it almost flat to my surface as to not scratch the wood. I sprayed the jewelry box down with Spray Away glass cleaner. This jewelry box is really just dusty. It didn't have real dirt and grime built up on it. I wiped it clean. I removed the drawer, wiped the inside and out, removed the little necklace hanger and all of the inserts that were simply glued on the bottom. I noticed that the mirror had a glass painted design and I decided to remove that because it didn't go with the look that I was going for. So I used a razor blade holding it almost flat to my surface and slowly chipped away at all of the paint. Once I had it all removed, I cleaned it. I taped off all of the inside as well as around the drawer box. And then I sprayed with a flat black enamel primer. Once everything had dried, I had a flat black canvas to work off of. I knew that I wanted to add some would you bend moldings. There are so many to choose from, and so I really just built up a custom design here on the fronts of the doors. And I will link all of the would you bend molds that I used as well as all of the other products below in the description. So here I am taking some Titebond wood glue and I am gluing my moldings down, and then I take a small artist brush with a little bit of water and go around to clean up any of the excess glue that seeps out. I also added a little piece of trim along the bottom to add some more additional detail down there. Next, I took the Posh Chalk stencil. This one is called Raining in Paris. I also took the extra flexible texture paste with a 1-inch silicone brush, and I added a raised stencil. I like to tape off my edges so that I have a nice crisp line. Now here you can see I went over the hinge, so I actually got a little bit globbed up. So I just took the corner of the silicone brush and cleaned that up. I allowed it to dry and then I reversed it on the top side as well. One of my favorite things to do is add unexpected texture and fine details to an otherwise plain surface. Now that I had this lovely frame, I added one of the beautiful would you bend florals to the center. Now that all of my fine details are in place, I applied 1 coat of Wise Owl's Gray Primer. The product that I chose to use for my paint finish is an Italian brand called Magic Paint. I use clear sand, which is a warm, creamy off-white, Elisir, which is a beautiful eucalyptus green, and last but not least, Lucky Forest, which is a beautiful deep green with hints of blue. I always treat my first coat as an experiment to see how I want to apply my colors, where I want my blends to start and end. And so here I created a highlight in one area and then a shadow in the opposite edge. But then I decided as I went further along, I actually wanted my molded areas to be more of the highlighted. And then as they get further away from the molds, that's where I started pulling in the deeper colors, really accentuating the bottom and then later on the top as well. I did use 3 different paint brushes, so 1 for each color. They were all round synthetic bristle brushes, and I just kind of tapped my colors and slowly swirled them. Here I actually watered down some Lucky Forest, and it had a beautiful watercolor effect, which I've never seen with a paint before. It was a very fun process to just create this really soft shadowing by adding some watered down paint around all my moldings. It was really in place of adding a wax. Using my finger, I took Posh Chalk's metallic texture paste in pearl white, and I highlighted all of the raised details of my moldings. I also took it and I applied it over my raised stenciling and over the handles and hinges. It's a little bit hard to see with my bright tripod light, but it actually adds such a beautiful shine and a glow to the moldings and to the handles, which you will see later on. My final step was to take any Sloan clear wax and go over the whole surface. So I applied it, and then I waited, and then I buffed it out, and it gave it just a very soft sheen. This is the final look. I am obsessed. I love the look of like an earthy finish using colors, giving it a little bit of age. It kind of reminds me of like a misty forest. One more time, here's the before and here is the after. I would love to know your thoughts, and if you want to see more like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button.